Afternoon, chaps. It's oh, I don't know what day it is. It's Tuesday, the 11th of November, and still in Ireland. And I'm heading off on a little adventure. Not 1,000,000% sure exactly where yet, but I have a couple of ideas. First of all, I'm going for lunch, yeah, to what I consider to be one of the best carveries, certainly in Dublin. Now, after my experience the other day in Waterford, I'm a little bit sort of apprehensive about this, but it's 12 noon and they can't have finished already, yeah? So come along for the laugh and for the crack and for the fun of it, and we'll see what mischief we can get up to. It should be riveting. He lied. Oh, chaps. Right, here we are. This is my little lunch spot. The Coachman's Inn, out near Dublin Airport, and this has two things going for, well, two major things going for it. Number one, it's full of aviation memorabilia from the early days of Aer Lingus, and also it's got the greatest flipping nicest carvery lunch in Dublin, for sure. The airport's just over there, kind of, you could walk to it from here. That's a bit of a tatty looking Old Glory up there, is it not? Yeah, they could do with changing that. Anyway, let's go in because I'm starving. Oh, chaps, look at this. We have Yorkshire pud, we have mixed veg, we have cabbage, we have roast beef. It's all buried under there, I can assure you. We have croquettes, we have mash, and I am going to get stuck in here. This is delicious. Oh, chaps, that was absolutely delicious. Coachman's Inn, swords, I think, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Oh, my belly. I had to hire a wheelbarrow to get me belly to the car. If you're visiting Dublin, or you live in Dublin and you've never been to the Coachman's, do it. I'm telling you, it's delicious. I'm stuffed, absolutely stuffed. So listen, we're on to the next place. No idea where it is yet, but sure, we'll see you there. Both of you. Okie dokie, chaps. I'll tell you where we are for anyone who's familiar with it. We are at the top of Killikee Road. And that, my friends, is Dublin, sprawling out in front of me, yeah? As they say, it's getting bigger, it's Dublin and Dublin every year, yeah? It's my hometown, it's a beautiful city, but as usual, it's a miserable day, yeah? Oh my goodness, the weather has taken a distinct turn for the worst, as usual, and it's 8 degrees. Somebody put a comment on one of my videos there the other day and said, I don't understand the Irish obsession with the weather. I think you need to be Irish to do so, and it helps if you're Irish and living abroad in a country with better weather than we get, yeah? I'll give you a little example. I have driven motorcycles since 1981, since I was old enough and legal enough to drive a motorcycle at 16 years old, yeah, or 17 or whatever I was, yeah. And on average, I would use my bike a few times a year, maybe travel 600-700 kilometers for the entire year. Bought a bike out in Thailand last year at the end of November, and by the end of January I'd done nearly 2,000 kilometers on it. Why is that? Because I could. Because the weather lends itself to motorcycling. Irish weather doesn't. And yeah, I think you're right. I think the chap is right. We are obsessed with the weather here, but there's a reason for it. Because it's miserable most of the time. I mean, I woke up this morning and the weather looked great, and it was good for a couple of hours, and now this. And lads, you got to be standing here with me to appreciate how flipping cold it feels. It's damp, it's cold, Irish weather is unpredictable in its misery, and it's not conducive to outdoor pursuits as a rule. That's it, lads. Moving swiftly on. Just a mile or two, or a kilometre or two further on. Look at that, lads. It's amazing. It is so beautiful. Oi, oi, oi. But it is also so cold. I was just thinking, William Butler Yeats, one of our great scholars and poets, wrote a magnificent poem after the 1916 insurrection called Ireland, a Terrible Beauty. I'm thinking of writing one called Ireland, a Miserable Beauty. But look at that, it is beautiful. It is beautiful in its wilderness, in its wildness. I am quite emotional standing here, looking at all those sheep and imagining them with gravy and potatoes and vegetables on a plate. Onwards, chaps, onwards. Let's keep doing this. Okie dokie, chaperoonies. I am at what I consider to be a rather interesting little stop off here in County Wicklow. It's known as the Deutscher Soldatenfriedhof Glencree. It's the German military cemetery here. And what it does is, what it contains is the remains of German soldiers, mostly airmen, shot down in Ireland or over Ireland during mostly, I think, the Second World War. But I do believe that there are some young German soldiers here buried from First War. Yeah, bear with me, I'll do a little read up here. Yeah, this is not something that I know a lot about off the top of my head, so just give me a minute or 20. Okay, let me read just a little bit off this information thingy. This military cemetery was constructed by the German War Graves Commission between 1959 and 1961, located by agreement with the Government of Ireland in this peaceful setting of an abandoned quarry beside the Glencree River. Yeah. 134 war dead, 75 of whom are unidentified, lie buried here. Remains were exhumed and reinterred here from more than 100 burial sites in 15 counties throughout the Republic. 6 of the burials are soldiers from the First War who died while interned in Ireland, and 128 are from World War II. Among them are 80 airmen, sailors who died in either aircraft crashes or whose bodies were washed up on the Irish shoreline. Yeah, let's go in and have a little look-see, just a quickie. Yeah. Wowzers, chaps. I've been here before on a couple of occasions in my lifetime. Yeah. I've also been to German war cemeteries in Europe. I've been to the one at La Cam in Normandy, and I've been to the one at Bozinge in Flanders, yeah. And German crosses and German markers in both of those cemeteries are identical to these ones. However, the ones in Europe, the crosses seem to be in better condition, and that's back to the weather, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's a beautiful Celtic cross at the top of the hill there. Yeah, and behind us is a etching that I can't read. It's in German for obvious reasons. Yeah. Wreaths that were laid here, I'm guessing maybe around Armistice Day, November. It's peaceful, it's beautiful, it's very serene, and it has stopped raining, which is a good thing. Yeah. A little bit of useless information for you here. Many people believe that Ireland helped the Nazis during World War II. Officially they didn't. I'm guessing that there were those like Sean Russell who was pro-Nazi. Gotta say to you guys, this channel is not a political one in any way, shape or form, but just trying to be informative here. Ireland did help the Allies in the Second World War. 70,000 men volunteered to fight mostly in the British Army. 220,000 volunteered in the Great War, in the first 1914-18 war. There was no conscription ever in Ireland. We gave valuable weather reports to the Allies in the lead up to D-Day, and we in turn shot down German aircrew for the duration. Crash-landed Allied aircrew, or shot, well, they wouldn't have been shot down, but crash-landed aircrew on the Allied side who crash-landed here in Ireland were allowed to escape via Northern Ireland and then back into circulation. Yeah, I believe, but again I could be wrong, I am no historian, I just know a little bit about something and even less about nothing. What was I saying? Allied aircrew, yeah. Aircrew that were interred here, I think were interred in the Curragh in County Kildare, yeah. They had a certain amount here. I'll turn the camera around onto my wonderful, wonderful visage. They had a rather easy life whilst here, and they were allowed to fraternise with the locals on a Saturday night, go to the pub, etc. Yeah. So I would guess that very few of them tried to escape. Yeah. There is a story, and I'll look it up on Google when I get back to the car in a few minutes, about an airman who stayed here after the war, married an Irish lady, etc, etc. Quite interesting. I don't know his name, but I will look it up in a moment when I get back to the car. Yeah. So Glencree, I mean, this is 20 minutes from the sort of the suburbs in Dublin. This beautiful, beautiful little spot, and I'm sure you can imagine it on a beautiful, warm, dry, sunny day. There is something very peaceful and serene about this place, and I do enjoy visiting here. Yeah. So let's move on a little. Yeah. Little bit of extremely interesting information here. Yeah. 6 soldiers of World War I are buried here. These soldiers died of natural causes while prisoners in a British prisoner of war camp located in Ireland from 1915 to 1918. 2 of the known soldiers were from the Prussian Guards. Private Gierowski, who died of diabetes in Templemore in 1914, and Private Spellerberg, who died of food poisoning in 1915. The remains of the youngest identified person to be found in Glencree are those of Lieutenant Kurt Tigerman, born on the 20th of April 1922. He and 3 crew members died while their plane crashed on Irish soil on the 11th of October 1941. The remains of Lieutenant Tigerman were first buried in the community cemetery of Rathnewer in County Wexford. His remains were later removed to his final resting place in the German military cemetery here in Glencree, as were the remains of his comrades. Isn't that just a lovely little story? And here we have a little rolling brook with a tiny little waterfall. Wow. Now there's nothing miserable about that at all. Maybe I could be accused of being a bit harsh on Ireland, but the only 2 things that I'm uncomfortable with about Ireland is the weather and the flipping price of things. It's exorbitantly expensive here, really and truly. I can buy a bottle of water at 7-Eleven in Banksarray for 6 baht, which is 20p. Oh, sorry, 20 cent, euro cent. I just bought one half an hour ago, €1.50. So there you go, Ireland, a miserable beauty. I've never been to Yorkshire, but I imagine in my mind's eye that this is what the Yorkshire Moors look like. I could be wrong, I could be talking through my hat, which I usually am, but I'm just guessing that the Yorkshire Moors are like this. There's miles and miles of wide open space. If you're from Yorkshire and you know any different, let me know in the comments. Thanks, chaps. Look at this, lads. It just stretches and stretches for miles and miles, or sorry, kilometers and kilometers. Look at it. Beautiful, mysterious and magnificent in its misery. Now then, chaps, take a look at this. This is one of the most beautiful sights I've seen here in Ireland ever. Will that just knock your socks off? Very rugged, hauntingly beautiful. And when the sun shines, my God, look at it. Isn't it fantastic? Let's take it in there for a sec. Wow. Moving on. Just a little footnote and a little bit of information regarding the German prisoners of war here in Ireland during the Second World War. They were in fact held as guests of the nation, and I found a little bit of info on two of them. Yeah, Kurt Mollenaar and Kurt Kick, spelled K-Y-C-K. Pronunciation is probably totally skew-whiffed there, but apparently both of them remained in Ireland after the war because they met and fell in love with young Irish ladies whom they married. One of their sons, Wolfgang, became a senior pilot for Aer Lingus. Isn't that just a little amazing story? Now, I'll tell you what, I have emerged from the tundra, from the wilderness there, and I am in a little County Wicklow town called Lara. And just 2 kilometres up the road there is the beautiful, beautiful town of Glendalough, the Glen of the Two Lakes. So come on, we'll fly up and take a quick look. I've got to get back home shortly, so it will be a flying visit. For those of you that you see, I've done some of this before in a previous life on YouTube, and for those of you that have seen this before, I do apologise, but I am somewhat restricted in as much as this is a rather short visit back to Ireland, and I can't go all over the country. I'm not here for weeks and weeks on end. I'm here for another sort of 10 days, so I'm sort of sticking to a fairly short radius of Dublin for this trip. As I said before, I will be back in about 2 months for a longer period, I do hope, and I'll try and get more done and get further away from Dublin. Over the west of Ireland is absolutely just beautiful, yeah. So come and have a look at Glendalough and we'll see what you think. Let me know what you think, yeah. Cheers, chaps. Okie dokie, chaps. Unfortunately, the visitor centre is now closed, but still, you get a little picture of kind of what it's like. Just over there, you can see the round tower, just the top of it, yeah. And oh my God, it just feels beautiful out here. It doesn't feel so cold. Rain has stopped, sun is shining, everything's as it should be. Oh, hang on, here's a car. Gotta move, because this road, there's room for 1 car here. Right then. The beautiful little hamlet, I guess, of Glendalough. Come and have a look here. Come and have a look. Okay, we've got the usual hawkers selling their little Irish wares. Coffee shops, St. Kevin's Kitchen. Wow. Ice creams. Not today, thanks. Glendalough Hotel. Wow. Everywhere's kind of closing up. I think it's just 5 PM. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. It's a long time since I was here. I think this is St. Kevin's Church, which is hundreds, if not more, years old. I do not know the history of it. Now, chaps, how flippin' Irish is this? This is just... oh my God, look. The round tower. Those towers, as far as I know, were built to keep the Vikings from robbing all the riches from the churches, Cistercian monasteries, etc. And they used to have a ladder, you know, 20 feet in the air, and all the priests would take all the gold and the valuables from the church up the ladder into the round tower, and then pull the ladder up behind them and close the door. Beautiful, isn't it? And for once, I'm not freezing. Oh my word. Oh my goodness. It's a wonderful feeling standing here. And it's just steeped in Irishness, I suppose is the term. This is just so magnificent. Wow. I'm guessing this is the ancient church of St. Kevin. I don't know. Wow. Again, ruggedly beautiful. Extremely beautiful. Imagine it in all its glory. Probably up to 1,000 years ago. The Vikings came here in 1795 or something like that. So that round tower signifies a good 1,000 years there. Wow. How wonderful is this? There's a plaque up here which will probably prove everything I said to be wrong by hundreds of years. But I ain't here to as a qualified or even terribly knowledgeable historian. I'm not a historian at all. Beautiful, chaps. On a summer's day, I mean right now I am not at all cold. It's absolutely just beautiful weather. It ain't raining, it ain't freezing, and I'm a happy little paddy. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, if I could tell, if the stories I could tell, eh? Okay, the little bit of info that I take from that is that it says this round tower was probably built between 900 and 1200 AD. So I'm either right or I'm wrong by 200 years ish. But being totally factual is not my remit here. This is not an historical channel. Wow. Isn't it all just beautiful? Bleak and rugged. A little bit like myself, I suppose, but terribly beautiful, unlike me. Oh my goodness. 30 seconds later and it started raining again and it's got really cold. So again, Ireland's predictably unpredictable weather is dictating the pace of the day. But listen, I've gotten enough here. I'm happy with what I've seen. Wow, it's all so beautiful, and I'm so happy that that I came down here today. I sort of did it on a whim. I thought, when I had lunch, I thought, I got to do something, where can I go? And then I just thought, wow, yeah, into County Wicklow. So here we are. Right chaps, back to the car. Oh yeah. All of these vendors are all closing up for the evening. Let me just check and see how much these diddly socks are. Wow, Irish drinking socks. Don't have a price. Oh well. No prices on any of them, I don't believe. Nope. They're probably not cheap. And I just noticed here, God's Cottage, a centre for Christian healing. Well, isn't that fantastic? So if you're struggling in your life, you can come here and heal yourself. What more could you ask for? Okay, moving on from Glendalough. Okie dokie chaps, that's it from Ireland, from Glendalough, from County Wicklow, from County Dublin. For today, thanks for tuning in, both of you. And thanks for watching, and subscribing and all that. And really appreciate your support. So we'll see you on the next one. So with that in mind, good luck, good night, may your God go with you. Don't forget your shovel, and most importantly of all,
have a good time all the time.
Woo! What she said, have a good time all the time. See you guys, rock and roll. Let's what? See you guys. Let's go back, indeed. See y'all, bye bye.